all have their own lap counter. The men's relay can at times be quite chaotic. Not surprising to see more of a slow start. Many of these skaters have competed earlier today. Probably want to make sure they save some energy. For some, it might be a tactic as well, waiting for more of a finishing kick in the final few laps. Team Korea, as I said earlier, won bronze at the last World Championship, silver medalist at the last Winter Olympic Games. They also won silver last weekend in Beijing. Team China won bronze at the World Cup on home soil in that event. Helped them move to the second place in the overall ranking of that event. While on the women's side, the Dutch are at the top of the leaderboard for the women's relay. The men are currently in 8th place, so definitely for them a chance to increase their ranking, move up in the ranking. Team Belgium in 5th place overall in the World Cup ranking. As I said earlier, they've been advanced to the final on the referee's decision in the semifinals. The Italians, bronze medalist at the last Winter Olympic Games in Beijing, silver medalist at the last World Championship. Pietro Sigel, typically the one skating the final 2 laps. The Italians currently 6th in the overall World Cup ranking. As I said earlier, Canada was eliminated in the quarterfinals. They are the reigning Olympic champions and World Cup leaders. We had the B final also earlier in the morning session. Kazakhstan won it. So Team Kazakhstan will have the World Cup points of position number 6, and Japan will get the points for the 7th position in the men's relay. 34 laps to go. The pace is set by Team Belgium. Koreans right behind them. China in 3rd. The Dutch in 4th. The Italians, not atypical for them to be more at the back early in the race. Luca Speckenhauser skated the repêchage rounds early in the morning, made his way to the final in the 1500 meter. Has likely recovered from his efforts earlier in the day. The crowd for now, not too loud. They know what short track is all about. Still too early to get excited with their team on top. 28 laps to go now. Team Belgium in 2nd. Shern Siwei for Team China, giving the exchange to his teammate. Clean exchanges so far. That's what we should be expecting early in the race. All teams on the same sequence of exchanges. That might get a bit more messy as we get closer to the last 10 or 15 laps. The inside skaters again need to make sure that they're not interfering with those on the outside track. Clean push by the Chinese, moving from 3rd to 2nd. Fairly consistent pace for now. High 8, low 9 second laps. 8.94 for Team China in that last lap. Hang Dae-han keeping his team at the top, receiving the exchange here from his teammate, the veteran for Team Korea, the world record holder in the 1,000 meter. Chinese in 2nd, as I said earlier, the Chinese gold medalists in this event at the last World Championship. That was before the arrival of the Liu brothers. Liu Shaolin not competing in that final, but Liu Xiaowang is. The speed has been picked up. We might see more laps in the 8-second range, 8.74. The Koreans picking up the pace at home. Don't want to spend too much time at the back of the pack. The ice gets a bit more broken, a bit more rusty with the end of that race. So one of the more reason to stay closer to the front. The Belgium, the Italian, stay a bit behind. They need to come back on the rest of the field. The Italians made their move. Now in third, the Chinese back on top, and we've lost the Koreans. And the crowd won't be happy about that one. Despite a good coverage from the Korean team, they're still half a lap behind the field. Maybe a long shot for the podium, certainly not for the win. And the speed is picked up. No one wants to see the Korean coming back in the hunt. The Chinese at the top, the Dutch in second. Will we see the Dutch on the podium for the first time this season? We have 10 laps to go in Seoul, and again the Italians a bit behind. But believe me, if they're in contention in the final 2 laps, we might have an explosion by Pietro Siegel. The Dutch now taking the lead out of the Chinese. What a move made by the Dutch late in that race. The Chinese right behind them, the Italian coming closer. Not as easy for Team Belgium. Stijn de Smet giving his best to come back on the main field, but the depth of the Belgium team might be a bit costly on that one. Who knows? Ain't over till it's over in short track. We'll get to see the 5-lap mark soon. The skaters will be coming for that final relay. About a lap and a half each, but the final relay has to be skated over 2 laps. China trying to create a gap on the Dutch and the Italians. The Italians still in the hunt. Belgium about 20 meters behind. They're hoping obviously for some chaos at the front if they want to make it to the top of the podium. And for now, no hope for Team Korea. Almost a lap behind. The Dutch will now be giving that exchange with 2 laps to go here. The Chinese, the Dutch, the Italians. We are now in that finishing lap. Pietro Siegel, can he come back on the Dutch, making his move? Siegel in second, right behind the Chinese. Liu at the line with Siegel. Too close to call. The Chinese, the Italians, and the Dutch unofficially on the podium. Smart racing by Team China. We have one of the actions currently under video review. The first one has been cleared. Liu Xiaowang, very solid in that final 2 lap. Pietro Siegel gave his best in the final 200 meters. Not enough to get ahead of the Chinese. Was it enough to get ahead of the Dutch? As I said earlier, one of the actions, and likely that final pass by Siegel being under review, but we'll have to wait and see. Very tactical start by the 5 teams. Unfortunately for the home crowd, they saw the Korean team going down with less than 20 laps to go. That led the other 4 teams to pick up the pace. Let's see the highlights here. We might get to see one of the Korean skaters going down late in that race. And here it is, by himself, falling. And here's that final 2 laps. The Dutch hoped they could keep that lead. That final push here where the Chinese took the lead. Great exchange by Team China on that one. Here's Siegel on Itzhak Dalat with a lap to go. Will it be let go or penalized again? Let's wait and see. The action is currently under review. And we'll have the last decision of the day from Michel Dumont done in just a moment. An excited Team China. The Dutch, as I said earlier, 8th in the overall World Cup ranking. Certainly their best effort of the season. That's why they're so pleased. At a minimum on the podium. If they're not penalized, of course. Let's wait and see for the results and decisions. Fairly clean racing this afternoon in Seoul. It's going to be the holiday break for all of these skaters. The Europeans will be back in Gdansk in early January for the European Championships. The others, some might have national championships in January. And here are the final results. The Italians were penalized, likely in that action with a lap to go. China first, Netherlands second, and Team Belgium in third place will be bringing that bronze medal back home with them. But let's see the official video that will show the penalty awarded to Team Italy. And here it is. In that final lap, end of straight, inside skater failure to give way. At that point, Pietro Sigel was not ahead of Itzhak Dalat from the Netherlands. He should have let go on that one.